Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Small Business Stories. You know me, your host, Dr. Loralyn Mears of Steeris. Every week bringing to you, people from all over the globe doing all kinds of things and bringing all of their tips and insights and expertise to you, our listening audience, which we're really grateful for. We are growing like gangbusters, so thank you for that. In the house today, we've got Dan Norcross live from the UK, who is not, thankfully, suffering like the rest of us in New Jersey and New York with over 2 feet of snow today. So, Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Loralyn. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, I always like to get into it. People take a lot of different paths, right, in life. You started off as, an engineer on that side of things, and you found a way to be able to, as you said in the pre-show, the win-win-win, right? It's the triple win we all desire. The client wins, the investor wins, and you win. How did you initially even think about making that pivot?
Um, well, really, I've always been interested in property, so property was something that I'd wanted to get further into. Um, the the reason that I wanted to give up work really, or to give up the 9 to 5, was because my one of the main reasons was because my father was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he's deteriorating slowly. So he liked to play golf, and I wanted to spend more time with him on a golf course rather than being stuck in an office at work or whatever as an engineer or as an engineering manager. So that was my main motivation. I also wanted to spend more time with my family as well, and just be my own boss and have time to do things on my terms, really. So that's the reason, my why I wanted to do this. So.
It's the essence of entrepreneurship, right? Either that flexibility inside of things to live our lives the way we want to, or because we are determined to solve a problem that nobody else
Mhm.
seemed to, right? It's really one of the two paths.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you are the founder and CEO of Regal Relocation. So would folks get you dialed into what that really is? It's all about like accommodation and property management, but it's more than that. It's helping landlords and investors maximize rental income, right? And simplify their operations because we all know how complex everything has gotten to. So talk to us about some of the things that you're looking at where you see and recognize a problem like, oh, this might be a really good opportunity. This landlord could benefit from having some greater efficiency and or the opportunity to maximize their investment. How do you look for the opportunities? How do you see them?
Well, it was about a year ago, actually. I saw a post on Facebook which was looking for accommodation for long-term contractor stays in the local area. I'd been on a mentorship program and coaching program for a few months before that, but that gave me sort of an incentive to take action quickly and get things in place. The strategy that I started with was called rent to rent serviced accommodation. So effectively, I'm renting from a landlord who is getting guaranteed rent every month at their asking price. So they're getting exactly what they want. We take all the hassle away from them, so they don't have to deal with any maintenance issues, anything like that. We deal with everything ourselves. Um, and what we then, with the landlord or the owner's permission, are allowed to rent that out as serviced accommodation. So we put that on Airbnb, Booking.com, and also take most of the bookings that we've had have been long-term contractor bookings, as there's a over £1 billion project happening in the area, massive infrastructure project. So there's lots of labour coming from Eastern Europe and looking for somewhere to stay. So there was a gap in the market there. There's a lot of people needed accommodation. So I took action quickly and got actually 7 properties within a week. I got the keys to 6 properties within a 24-hour period. All rental properties that I rent from a landlord or an agent and then rent out as serviced accommodation. So helping the landlord, helping the as you say, win-win-win, helping the guests because they've got somewhere to stay, helping me because I get some financial gain from it, and also helping my investors who I was lucky enough to get some investors on board as well right from the start for all of these projects, and they're getting a great return on their investment. So it's looking at about 22% per annum as a minimum, really, that they're getting return on their investment. So yeah, it's been just over 12 months, or about 12 months actually, to the day when we took on the first properties. And yeah, their original investment of £10,000 has almost been paid back now. And then the terms or the flexible arrangement that I made with them, quite a creative sort of arrangement, was they would receive 70% of the profits until their original investment was paid back, and then for the remainder of the 3-year contract, uh, they would get 30% of the profits, which is all over and above that their interest on their loan to me, if effectively. So yeah, that's how it works, and that's what I've got into. So that's where the gap was in the market, and that's how I tried to fill it really with things that I'd learned from my coaching and mentorship program.
A couple of things there. So, one, timing, right? Timing is always of the essence. You snooze, you lose. Do you think that timing played a major factor in your success here, Dan?
Definitely, yes, yeah, yeah. Um, I think because there was that need and the requirement in the local area that I took action quickly. You know, as I say, I was speaking to agents. I got 3 of the properties through an agent, and the other, well, 4 were from a deal sourcer. I was doing quite a lot of networking as well. And the guy that was sitting next to was a deal sourcer. He had these 3 properties that were available in Chester, which is where I was looking to invest. And I just said that there and then that I'd take them from him, really. And when went round to look at them the next day, he said he had another one. So I took that as well. And I got, as I say, the keys to 6 properties. Well, 7 properties within a week, 6 properties within 24 hours. So we had a mad month of end of February and March last year, trying to get all these properties set up and ready to go to take guests in.
They call the basketball for college students here March Madness. It sounds like you had one of those.
Definitely, definitely.
The other thing that the other thread I want to pull on, so timing, okay, great that you see an opportunity and you act quickly, but money. Most of us don't have the money tree in the backyard that we can shake and say, oh, I need 10,000 pounds here, another 20,000, 50,000, 80,000, whatever, here it is, let's go. 6 properties. Oh, why stop at 6? Let's make it 8, right? And jump on that. So, how did you finagle all that? Because that's a lot of money to come up front.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I'd been logging my sort of progress of my coaching and mentorship on social media. I've been trying to promote myself and let people know what I was doing. And from that, and also from the mentorship group as well, I must add that 4 of the investors were actual mentees from the mentorship program that I was on as well. I had the opportunity to present my opportunity, I guess, at one of our mentorship days. And there were a few people that came up to me after that and said they'd like to invest with me because they could see there was a massive opportunity there for all of us. So the others were just private investors that I've got on fixed rate returns, getting an 8% return on their investment, which is like
Mhm.
4 times more than you get on like a standard bank account, or maybe more. Double what you get on like a high interest savings account. So they're really pleased with their returns as well, and that just gave me the well, the springboard really to start from and then to grow from there effectively. So yeah, it was it was just basically getting my message out there and telling people what I was doing. That's the idea of this as well, really, to do the same, really, so people understand what's possible within the property sphere.
And that's what this whole show is all about, learning from each other, leaning on each other, putting the spotlight on each other. It's how we grow, right? If we just
Hmm.
stay home and expect everything to happen from behind the screen, good luck. You'll never make it as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, sure.
Now, Because of your engineering background, one of the things I'm always interested in is evaluating and identifying, well, first, I guess, first identifying risk and then evaluating it. So, how did your engineering background help you do this more effectively? Because, the whole property game can go up and down. Great that you've got this massive investment and project going on over there in Chester, but, that's not guaranteed either.
No, that's true. So basically, my engineering background came into play quite a lot. I'm very data driven by nature, and all the decisions that were made were based on facts, evidence, and data rather than from
Mm.
like the heart. It was more the head driven. So it was, yeah, it's one very clearly laid out. And then with backup opportunities as well, if the contractor market drops away for any reason, then they're okay for, like I said, they're putting out on Airbnb and Booking.com, and they should get good returns from there as well. So it was calculated in two ways, really, with a sort of backup solution if it all failed. Um, and that's it, really. Yeah. So my engineering background's come really heavily into it, really. That's analyzing data, analyzing deals, and making sure that they stack up.
For sure. Now, I want to go on the flip side of that. So, okay, there's taking the analytical aspects and looking at it and saying, okay, is this deal, is it structured properly? What's the risk? What's the potential fallout for me, you, the investor, for everybody. But then there's the other side, right? The investor psychology, because a lot of investors will likely shy away from creative financing models and constructs. So, how do you cultivate confidence and credibility when this really hasn't been your lane and you're going after investors and saying, "Hey, we need this kind of money. Let's go forward." How do you do it? How do you get people over the hurdle so that they invest in you?
I think it was just, as I say, that social media presence was the original thing that got me started. I have had investment from family members, from people that I've not seen or spoken to for 15 years, but we're friends on Facebook. People that I've rode with, people that I've played rugby with in the past, and they all just were watching my journey and knew me as a person anyway before some of them. Others are, businesses that I've previously worked with as well, and directors of businesses have joined and invested in my future projects as well. So yeah, I don't know. It's obviously I must have been doing something right because people were confident to, take a punt, and they are great returns though, to be honest. The so it's always a risk with any investment, but
Right.
obviously it's calculated risk based on the potential performance.
So, you talk a lot about win-win-win, even like the triple win outcomes, which is music after my own heart because I'm always talking about the triple win. Partner A teams up with partner B, you aim together, boom, you sell something, and then the customer on the receiving end is very happy, right? Everybody wins. And
Yeah.
so, since that's such a huge part of your philosophy, how has it shaped your approach to relationships overall and reputation?
Well, if you look at my website, it says that we're always trying to create win-win partnerships for
Right.
every opportunity with our property partners, no matter who that be. Um, and that's what I've always tried to do within my previous background within engineering and management as well, is to try and the best outcome is if everyone gets a benefit from it in every situation, really. So if somebody's a loser, then it's not a good deal.
And when you say if someone's a loser, so let's talk a bit about this because a lot of people go after, and I've done it too. We like, oh, we need the customer, we want them, and then as we're getting into it, we're like, well, you're not really the ideal customer. You're not my ideal customer persona, my avatar, but I'm here with you. So what do I do? What do you look for that says this one's potentially a very good fit, this one's not?
So from a landlord perspective or from an agency perspective, it's ones that are willing to do company lets because that's what they're called. So um, if they're not willing to do that, I've I spent hours ringing around lots of agents, and I also got a virtual assistant actually to call 60 agents for me in my local area. So Jennifer's based in Nigeria. She's my assistant that's been working with me for the last year. And she helps me to run the properties as well now by coordinating cleaning and maintenance. So it's a win for her as well, really, because she's getting paid very well compared to a Nigerian salary for working for me. Um, the the guests, we always try and make sure that the properties are furnished well and all, everything's available. So air fryers and toasters, kettles, everything, all the pots and pans and cutlery, everything's included. So, and we also offer a fortnightly clean with linen change so that they're comfortable and the place is always kept tidy. And for the investors, obviously it's the returns on the investment that they're getting. So yeah, that's the from an investor perspective, if they have got the funds available and are willing to go for one of my opportunities, then I'm happy to have a conversation basically with anyone that might want to invest.
So you are still open and actively seeking investors to continue to expand your property portfolio. Is that correct, Dan?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, yeah. So on top of those original 7 properties that we took on, in the last month, we've launched another property, which is a hotel in Blackpool, which is in the north of England. So we've taken on an ex bed and breakfast property, and that's also on a rent to rent basis as well. So we're renting it for very low rents, really, in comparison, and then renting out the whole property for group stays and large families, things like that. It's a 7 bedroom property with 5 bathrooms, that is. So I've got investors on that one. I'm also looking at now title split opportunities. So I've been working with a guy who's an expert in title splits, and that's where you get a block of flats, for instance, which are already split with split utilities, and then legally split those into individual um, components, which the sum of those is worth more than the individual building it on its own. And I've also got investors for another project that I'm working on, which is another hotel, which I'm looking at doing a similar sort of thing to in the Highlands in Scotland.
Hmm.
So it's up near a ski resort, and I've got £140,000 worth of investors finance for that project, and we're looking at getting that set up in the next few months and then getting that rented out as a whole property. That's 9 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. So for a large group of a skiing group or a walking group or anyone that's interested in the local area, it's right on the Whiskey Trail. It's fantastic location. So there's probably as much snow there now as there is where you are as well, to be honest. So
Oh no.
um,
Good if you ski.
it's
Not good, yeah.
yeah. If you're skiing, it's great. So if you're in the city, it's not so good.
Now, I'd say at the heart of your success, besides you and what you do and how you know, it's OPM, right? Other people's money.
Hmm.
And I don't think enough entrepreneurs think about the opportunities until they're quite late, sort of to the party. They've gone down the path, they've burned through their own cash reserves, maybe taken out money on their home, second mortgages, whatnot, retirement. Talk to us about the importance of using other people's money from the get-go.
Well, for me personally, it was vitally important because I didn't have my own money to use. To be honest, I couldn't have done it without the investors' support that I've had so far. Got to what I've got to and have the plans that I've got to go forward as well. Um, so it's been absolutely vital to me, and yeah, as I say, I just wouldn't have got anywhere without it, to be honest. So.
But you made it happen, right? I mean, this is the thing. You didn't let, where I was trying to get to with this, Dan, is you didn't let the lack of money stop you from doing something bigger and better that you had dreamed of doing. You said you'd always interested in properties. You found a way, right? Legal,
Yeah.
ethical, all that stuff. And that's, you need applause for that.
Thank you.
Now,
Yeah, thank you.
as we're getting toward the end of our show here, tell me about, right? Everybody's always got that one deal that almost got away, right? Something derails it. Talk to us about what happened in those sort of moments leading up to whatever it was that changed the outcome. Did you have one of those experiences?
I have had one sort of bad experience, and so one of the first seven properties that we had, I actually lost and got evicted from it as the tenant, and that was due to a booking from the child services, local county child services, had booked the property on booking.com. They were only our second guests in the property. So all the furniture was brand new, everything was brand new, and there were two young 12-year-old twins with their social workers that were staying in the property. And I found out on the sixth night of seven, no, on the seventh night, I found out that the police had been called out six times during their stay, and the neighbors were going crazy, and the landlord found out from the neighbors, and then I was told that I had to give up the property basically. So that was unfortunate. So I would certainly warn people away from taking those sorts of bookings if they come up. And I've been approached since, and I've refused those bookings. I'd rather not have that problem, to be honest. So um, yeah, so that's one of the things that went wrong that I probably, well, possibly could have foreseen or whatever, but with a bit of hindsight, I wouldn't do again. So
Right. Well, you learned, right? It's that whole identify the risk, evaluate the risk, learn the hard way, but there you go. Now,
yeah.
a silly question just struck to me. You're in the UK and you're furnishing flats. I want to get a little sense of, well, what does that mean, especially compared to American standards, what people are looking for, which appliances, which this. It's silly. It doesn't really have anything to do with your business specifically, but I think it's a fun question.
Yeah, okay. So the four properties that we got in Chester were basically new build properties. They were brand new. We were the first tenants in there. So it was a blank canvas really. They didn't have anything. They didn't have curtain poles. They didn't have light fittings, anything. So we had to do it from scratch. We've put in dishwashers, washing machine and dryers, air fryers, toaster, kettles, everything. Beds. So we've put zip link beds in there as well because the bedrooms are quite large. So you can have either two super king size beds or four single beds. So we've got the flexibility depending on who books the accommodation. And a sofa bed in the lounge as well as another sofa, TVs, units, and dining room tables, chairs, all that sort. So basically everything, yeah. So that's what some of the investment was as well from the original investors. We put £5,000 in per property to kit it all out and get it ready for the guests.
Excellent. Now, where can people find you, Dan, in Regal? Where can they find you?
So I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn as Dan Norcross, IN Gemini Meki. Um, on regalrelocations.co.uk, my website, and on Instagram, but I don't really use that too much. But it's again Dan Norcross on there. So yeah, that's the main places.
Well, we want to make sure folks go to regalrelocations.co.uk because if they are interested in making investments, they can find you, right? That's what I wanted to emphasize there. Now, last question, signature question of the show. If we got to look into that closet of yours and there was some footwear that said, this is Dan Norcross, right? Radiates who you are, personifies everything you stand for. What are we looking at?
Some footwear.
Yes.
Well, I've got to. um, it's usually some red Adidas trainers is what I would wear, so with like silver stripes on. So that's my footwear of choice, really.
And why does that represent you?
Um, it's Well, red's my favorite color. It's my favorite team. Liverpool Football Club is coming red. Um, so that's why I wear those. And yeah, I don't know, it's just good to be a bit different, really, I think. So
But see how this question speaks to it? That's why I love this question. Hundreds and hundreds of people that I've asked, and it's fun. People are like, what? But you always get an interesting answer, which I like. So with that, it is a wrap. Dan Norcross, Regal Relocations. Thank you so much for coming to us live from the UK today. And we really appreciate you just giving us insights about the power of OPM, right? Other people's money and jumping on opportunities when you see them. Because if you snooze, you lose. Thank you, Dan.
thank you. Thanks, Laurie.